Anyway, look, I watched the show last night. You can get it at joelycett.com.
Yeah, Netflix said no.
Yeah, but it's pretty good, they said.
It's better,
right?
actually, yeah.
Because you're selling it £10 a time.
£10 a whack. God, I'm rich. No, it is actually better because you retain all the rights to the thing, so you don't have to change any of it. You can make it exactly as you want. No one's breathing down your neck, and it's my favourite thing I've ever made in my life. I don't think I'll make anything better. I'm scared of the future of, particularly of writing stand-up, because it was chance that the show ended up being what it is. And I'm being cryptic because I sort of don't want to give it away, but the show's good, but like the story is sort of amazing, and it's by accident. But kind of accident. I pushed in certain directions, and what I got was way more amazing than I thought I'd get, basically.
Yeah, well, it's very funny, and then it's something sort of beautiful and you know, something about community and love, and it's a very positive show, I think.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So it's enjoyable to watch, and also you go, oh, so it does feel like a sort of perfect stand-up show, I have to say. But that's not to say that you can't do it again. I think you've got this thing now, and it's only 3 or 4 years since we last spoke to you. So much has happened to you in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And the direction your career's gone in. And there's so many... Like, I just started writing down talking points. A few of them are in the show, but obviously, like, recently you probably influenced the fall of the new Prime Minister before she was even Prime Minister.
Yeah. Someone made a meme of loads of dominoes, and the big domino is the complete collapse of the UK government, and then the little domino is I'm incredibly right-wing and I loved it. I was so proud of that. I loved it. But I'm still a huge Liz Truss supporter. I should make that clear. Yeah. What's weird about all that is that I genuinely decided to do that in the car on the way there. I hadn't planned it. And I think Brian Logan wrote in The Guardian about how I looked like I wasn't sure how it was going and that I'd just thrown it together. And I was like, very astute, Brian, well done. Because I'd been booked for it weeks before, and I thought it was weird. Yeah. I thought it was a weird booking. I thought, you know what I'd do. And then someone said, oh, that's just days before they announce the new Prime Minister, and there's a chance that they'll be on there. And I thought, they won't put me anywhere near them. And then they said, oh, the guests stay on set. And I was like, am I on like a kind of Graham Norton? I'm going to be like sat next to Liz Truss. And another thing, I couldn't work out how. So I rang the producer the night before because I just wanted to get like a sense of the shape of the thing. And she was sat next to Laura Kuenssberg. So Laura Kuenssberg came on the phone, and I'd never spoken to her before, and she was really lovely and very sort of giggly and fun in a way that I didn't expect her to be, because obviously on telly she's Laura Kuenssberg. And I'm a huge fan of hers, and I think I genuinely don't know what her political leanings are, and I think that's really impressive. And I know some people will say, well, no, I don't. I mean, you laugh, but I maybe Tory, but I actually couldn't tell you, and still don't after speaking to her. And so I do think she's great. And so then in the car on the way there, I thought, I'm not a political pundit. And friends of mine, and I'd spoken to Jess Phillips because I'm good friends with Jess Phillips, and she said, just say what you feel, and people will probably agree with you. And I just thought, I don't do that. I'm not someone who comes on and says, well, my opinion is, and like I don't know what my opinion is. I don't give, like, obviously do give a shit, but I don't feel qualified to be there as some sort of learned political whatever. Yeah. But what I have done over the last few years is been sarcastic on Twitter. And so I thought, well, I know how to do that. I've been tweeting all sorts of different people, Nadine Dorries mainly, but lots of people pretending that I love them and being like, oh, babe, come round for a Lamborghini. Like, I've been doing that for ages. So I can do that in real life easy, and I can sell that, and I can pretend to be it because I've done it confidently before. So I thought I'd go for it. And then when Liz Truss was speaking and she was not saying anything, I was so cross. I found I really felt the anger growing in me. And when I get cross, I get silly. And so I thought, like halfway through our interview, I thought it'd be funny to applaud this. Because there's nothing to applaud. Like, it's like, cause there's a friend of mine who, when he's watching theatre shows and there's shit and he's getting bored, he'll either laugh at inappropriate points, or at one point there was like a really awkward pause where I think someone had just died or something, and it was like a pause where someone was crying, looking at it, and he just went, line. So good. Line. Really good. So it didn't warrant applause, it didn't warrant anything. It was vacuous, empty, usual politics stuff, and I was cross about it, and I thought, I'm never going to be in a room with this woman again, probably, well, almost certainly now, and I will go full throttle with how I feel about it, using sarcasm, and that's what I did, and I applauded, and then I can feel the anger now, like that sort of like frustration in my shoulders, and I get tense, and I just think, and so I used that anger to be like, I loved it, and it sort of came out in that sort of stream of like, and then I watched Laura go, fuck, and she said afterwards that when I applauded, her heart sank, and then she sort of worked out what I was doing, and she was okay with it, and then she stopped asking me questions for a bit, and I thought, I've fucked this, haven't I? I'm just going to sit here saying nothing. It's been like 8 out of 10 cats the first time I did it again. One thing in the edit, and then she asked me another question, and I was like, right, I'm off again. Here we go. And then people liked it, and that was it, really.
And did you see her? Did you see Liz Truss after it was over?
No, she scarpered.
Yeah.
You then go for this weird breakfast in the BBC, which is like being in a school canteen. It's a bizarre. It was a canteen.
Yeah.
And I was sat here. Laura Kuenssberg was there. Emily Thornberry was there, and Cleo Watson, who'd also been on. And then next to Liz Truss, not Liz Truss, Laura Kuenssberg was Rishi Sunak, and then I think not the Director General, but like the one higher than him at the BBC, who's, I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, I didn't know there was anyone.
He's very like, hello, old boy. He's like that. Nice, seemed like a nice bloke. I met him in the lift. Please continue to work with me. But I didn't look Rishi Sunak in the eye because I knew I wasn't confident that I wouldn't embarrass myself with anger and do something, like just in a panic, just scratch him or something. So I just made a point of not looking at him and had some porridge and fucked off. That was it, really. But I was chatting to Laura Kuenssberg, and she'd said then, she was saying, oh, we're trying to get people on that are a bit different, and, we'd love to have you back on this show, and, we're trying to have semi-regulars and all of that, and then it ended up on the front page of the Daily Mail, and I haven't heard back since. So.
I don't think they'll have you back on. It is a weird thing when those worlds collide. I did this week, and I had a very horrible time on it, but Nigel Farage was on before me, and like, so I was
What do you do? It feels like such a responsibility when there's someone like that in front of you, and you get, what should I... He keeps asking to get me on his show.
Does he? He was in the green room with me, and I just couldn't look at him and say anything to him.
Yeah.
And then, because it's recorded, like, it's live late at night.
Yeah.
So about 12:30, I found myself walking down a dark corridor with Nigel Farage in front of me and nobody else around.
Fuck. But this is the thing, you could change the course of human history.
Yeah. It was crazy. But
not even, like, doing anything, just, like, slightly nudging him. You'll have the butterfly effect of...
Yeah.
He'll go, oh, I was nudged and I feel sad about that. And suddenly I feel empathy. And then anything could... I don't know. Yeah.
I could make him hate white people.
Like all us wokey folk do.